And let's bring in another NASCAR expert, Florida Congressman, National Guard Colonel Michael Waltz. Michael, I don't know if you are one or not, but you're there. So you're going to have to give us your take with Daytona 500 just a couple hours away. They're in Florida and open.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Florida has figured out how to live with this virus. We had the Super Bowl just last week. Disney is open, and now we're going to have the most fans at 30,000 plus of any major sporting event. And the other thing, this really is America's race. It started actually on the beach in Daytona Beach decades ago, where they raced up the beach down one side and then turned down US 1. No one here is afraid to sing the national anthem. We'll have the Thunderbirds in a flyover. Typically, we have soldiers getting enlisted and re-enlisted. Families are out there the week prior. This is just an amazing time for the country.
Congressman, I want to ask you about those fans being there, because that's been one of the biggest impediments, right, to having just a normal sporting event. In many arenas, fans just aren't allowed. What is the impact of that? Even though it is a limited number of fans, that is pretty. I mean, 30,000 is it's there. So what is the impact of that on the sport itself, and how do the NASCAR drivers feel about that?
Well, they love having the fans here, right? I mean, and the fans love it. You just can't beat that with any sporting event. And for so many people who've had such a tough year, their kids can't go to school. They're told they can't go to church. They're told now we're having issues with social media. To be able to come here and celebrate America's race, NASCAR, unlike any other sport, has their Super Bowl at the very beginning of the season. It really just means the world for them, and it's a great positive distraction for everyone.
Yeah, it's normalcy. Don't we all need a little bit of normalcy? Congressman, I want to ask you about the Senate impeachment trial yesterday. Before we do, I hear you have a shout out to a very special racer there this weekend.
Well, I've got to pay homage to the king, Richard Petty, with number 43 here. There is a local race team led by 16-year-old Daniel Dye that is doing a race to stop suicide and to bring awareness, particularly for veteran suicide. So Richard Petty has allowed them to use his iconic number, and it's just such a great cause that I want to give a shout out to and pay homage to.
Oh, that's great. That's great. We're glad you did so. Let's get you in on this Fox News alert. That's the Senate acquitting President Trump in his second impeachment trial. You saw everything go down yesterday. What's your reaction?
Well, look, this is why I voted against it. I think it's unconstitutional. President Trump has left office. There was no due process. We saw that with the unfolding of, do we have witnesses? Do we not have witnesses? That should have been done, before it even got to the Senate. There's been no investigation. I think we still have a lot to learn about what happened before January 6th. And ultimately, guys, it's just a distraction for the country. And we have to keep in mind that a year ago, while that impeachment, the first impeachment, was going on, the Chinese virus, the coronavirus was unfolding. That we didn't, that was a distraction then. Now we have, a year later, the country is barreling towards bankruptcy. I think people want Congress to get back to work, to do things that affect and do things that help affect their lives in a positive way. Right. And that's, I think a lot of the country is just saying, what's the point? Let's move forward.
Yeah, and not the kind of distraction we need. We need the kind of distraction that's going to be taking place in Florida today. I'll be watching that 43 car. Yeah, that's an interesting story. We'll be watching that 43 car today in Daytona. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Okay. See you guys, and go Daytona, go America.
There you go.